You know the feeling. You spot that dark little patch behind a pipe or creeping up a basement wall. And you know the drill, right? You bleach it, you try to ventilate, and if it gets bad, you call in a professional. But what if that whole cycle is, well, wrong? What if the real permanent solution has been sitting in the laundry aisle this whole time? Okay, let's get into it. So you bite the bullet and make the call. The remediation crew shows up, they put out plastic sheeting, run these loud air scrubbers, and start cutting out chunks of your wall. And after all that, when the dust finally settles, you're left with an invoice. On average, you're looking at about $2,200. And trust me, for a really bad crawl space or a finished basement, that number can skyrocket to 10, 20, even 30 grand. But here's the kicker, the part that nobody really talks about. After that crew leaves and your check is cashed, nothing they did actually stops the mold from returning. See, professional remediation is all about removing what's there. It does nothing to treat the new wood and drywall to resist future growth. The stage is pretty much set for a repeat performance. Now, what if there was a way to prevent it? A way to make your home's building materials basically hostile to mold in the first place for about the cost of a coffee? Yeah, I know it sounds way too good to be true, but the science behind it has been around for more than 100 years. So you have this huge gap, right? A $2,000 problem versus a $2 prevention. It just begs the question, why on earth isn't this common knowledge? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at how the so-called solutions we all use actually work, or maybe more accurately, how they don't. All right, so let's break down the two things most people do. They either grab a bottle of bleach or they call in the pros. We're going to see why both of these moves are seriously flawed, and a lot of the time just kicking the can down the road. First, to really get why these methods fail, you've got to understand what mold is. That black stain you see on the surface, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the fruiting body. The real organism, the part doing all the damage, is this hidden root-like network called hypha, and it burrows deep inside stuff like drywall and wood. Think of it like a weed. The stain is just the flower, but the hyphae are the roots that go everywhere. Okay, so this is where the whole bleach myth just completely falls apart. Bleach is mostly water, right? The active ingredient in it, sodium hypochlorite, it does a great job killing the surface stuff you can see, but it can't soak in deep enough to get to those root-like hyphae. So what does soak in? The water. You're literally killing the flower while watering the roots, which often makes the problem come back even angrier. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't some fringe idea. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has quietly said this for years. Their own official guide says bleach is not recommended as a routine practice, and yet it's still the first thing you see lining the shelves at the hardware store. Kind of weird, right? So if bleach is a bust, then what actually works? Well, the answer, believe it or not, is a simple, naturally occurring mineral compound you can find in the laundry aisle. It's called borax. And the science behind it is actually incredibly simple. Now, this is not some new discovery, not even close. Borates, that's the family of compounds that includes borax. They've been used to protect wood from fungus and rot since the 1870s. The USDA has piles of research going back decades confirming how well it works. And get this, it's already a key ingredient in a lot of the professional-grade wood treatments they use today. So how does this simple white powder wage war on mold? Well, it's kind of like a three-pronged attack. First, when you dissolve it in water, it creates this highly alkaline environment, around a pH of 9.3. Mold hates that. It prefers acidic conditions. Second, the boron itself messes with the mold's metabolism, basically shutting it down. And finally, it stops new spores from even starting to grow. It's not just a killer, it's a preventative powerhouse. Okay, so this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If this stuff is so effective, so cheap, and has been studied for over a century, why is this the first time most of us are hearing about it? The answer, as it often does, comes down to following the money. This quote from the source material really just says it all. A remediation company that gets rid of your mold but doesn't do anything to prevent it from coming back isn't failing, they're actually ensuring a future customer. The repeat business isn't a flaw in the service, it is the service. A permanent, cheap DIY solution is just terrible for business. And this business model is protected at almost every level. You look at the International Residential Code, the rule book for how our houses are built. Zero mention of using borates as a preventative measure. The committees writing these codes, they're full of people from trade groups and manufacturers who sell more expensive, complicated products. Even the professional certifications focus on pricey physical removal, not simple, cheap preventions. And right here, this is the industry's dirty little secret laid bare. Those professional wood preservatives they sell for about $90 a gallon, their active ingredient is a boric compound. The box of borax from the grocery store that makes a gallon of solution for about $2, its active ingredient is a boric compound. It is the exact same fundamental chemistry. You're just paying a 4,000% markup for a different bottle and some marketing. Okay, so you know the why. Now for the fun part, the how. And I promise this isn't complicated. It's something literally any homeowner can do to protect their house, especially for areas like basements, attics, or during any kind of renovation where the wood framing is exposed. It honestly could not be simpler. You take 1 cup of borax powder, mix it into 1 gallon of hot water, stir it like crazy till it's all dissolved. Then just spray it on whatever you want to protect. Joists, plywood, even bare drywall. Now the most important step is the last one. Do not rinse. You want it to air dry because that leaves behind this invisible microscopic film of borate crystals that mold just can't grow on. Now, let's be real for a second. It's important to know the limitations here. This is a topical surface treatment, okay? It's not the same as pressure-treated lumber. And because it dissolves in water, it's not going to work if you have an active leak. You have to fix the source of the water first. And for safety, it's just common sense. Wear gloves, open a window, and keep it away from kids and pets just like you would with any other cleaning product. So when you boil it all down, what do we have? A simple, incredibly cheap, and scientifically proven solution has been almost totally ignored in favor of an expensive industry that relies on the problem coming back. And that leaves you with one final, bigger question to chew on. If this can happen with something as common as mold, what other simple solutions are out there buried by industries that make a lot more money from complexity? If you find this video helpful, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Help us grow this channel by sharing with your friends who might need this hack. Thanks for watching.